Honkai Star Rail, a game that I really do enjoy, and that is no exaggeration. It has really fun gameplay and is quite enjoyable. Wait, I just said that. Oh well, you get the point, don't you? Today I will be reviewing this game, or at least its first chapter, since it can be claimed to be a game on its own. But I haven't completely finished the story that is here so far. Oh, okay. I barely finished the first chapter on its own, but it is quite enjoyable. I will be going over the Bellabog section. And also, disclaimer, if you see any gaming footage, this is not mine. I don't have a working SD card or anything like that. So, I will leave a link in the description below to all the YouTubers' channels who I did find gameplay of. I thank you for playing this game. So what do you do exactly in Honkai Star Rail? Well, to start things off, you start off the game in the prologue, which I will be including in this. It starts you off by, well, showing you how to play the game, the mechanics, and really everything you need to know. Well, besides a lot of other stuff. That will be shown in the tutorial section that you will unlock after the prologue. Oh, and if this video hasn't shown anything yet, this will have lots of spoilers, so, be careful if you haven't played this game, or at least a chapter that I'm reviewing. This will also include just some minor story elements. You will have the option to choose whether if you want to be a boy or a girl, Stell or Kalis, or whatever you want to name them. Please don't mind the footage here. This is You start the prologue off as Kafka and her lovely assistant, Silverwolf. She's here too. Kafka and Silverwolf are Stellaron hunters, or gatherers of the Cancer of all worlds. They give this Stellaron to Stell or Kalis, and then quickly abandon you alone in a spaceship. You are then found by March 7th and Dan Hung, trailblazers from the Astral Express, who help you fight the, checking notes, Antimatter Legion. That's a name. While protecting you, you will as well grab a magical baseball bat. Well, that's certainly a weapon of choice. Can't say I've seen something stranger than that, but never mind that. This is as well a branch off of the whole Honkai series that includes Honkai Impact and Genshin Impact, and, well, this. But we don't talk about Genshin Impact. Yeah, that's a hellhole that can stay in its own place. The garbage. Rotting. Alone. But back to Honkai. After you explore the space station, you will encounter your first mini-boss. Now, there are two types of controls, the PC controls and the mobile controls, but as well controller, but that depends on the version you're playing on. The PC controls I would recommend because while I was playing on my phone, the thing was hotter than a s'more. So yeah, it's also a battery eater. You were then saved by Himiko by her droids. Himiko is the navigator of the Astral Express and friends of Dan Hung and March 7th. You are then introduced to Asta, the head researcher of the space station that you're on. Oh, by the way, did I mention that this is as well a science committee who works for the Genius Society member Herda? Yeah. You are then interrupted by the threat of a doomsday beast, a planet destroyer of the Antimatter Legion. You go and beat the shit out of that thing, but then it almost attacks March. But luckily, you step in the way, and with the power of that Stellaron in you, you survive its attacks. Somehow. Herta, the owner of the spaceship, comes in and, well, wants to run tests on you to see what makes you tick. Himiko is very against that plan, and you can choose whether to or to not be against it. It doesn't affect the story this far, but later on it can. This, like a lot of other games, has little dialogue options. You can choose whether to be a bitch, clueless, or the sweetest person you'll ever meet, or a mix of all three. This can also affect how the story goes. Some options can give you hidden little secrets, like text messages and stuff. But as well, some others can affect the story completely by altering its path and or just ending it up there and then. So, you are given the choice either to stay on the spaceship or you can go on the Astral Express and actually experience the story. Because the other option will just tell you that they went off, died, and you're sad. Kinda dark, but okay, it deserves that T for Teenager rating. So as you explore the space train, you are introduced to Pom Pom, the cutest and most adorable thing I've ever seen. You can explore Dan Hung and March 7th's rooms. Dan Hung's just living in a computer area, and March 7th actually has a room. Your room, though, has not been added to the game, and for future notice, probably won't be. So a lot of people just assume you share a room with March 7th, or just sleep on the couch. So you and the rest of the gang are called for a meeting. Himiko Welts, a person from Honkai Impact, 3rd, who we think is here to help Himiko. We don't really know. Then there's Pom Pom, March 7th, Dung Hung, and you. You then discuss which planet you're going to next. A beautiful planet named Urelo 6, known for its tropical environments. At least I think. You then warp to Urelo 6, and then figure out that something's happening. A Stellaron, just like the one inside you, has infected the planet with a very, very harsh winter. You, Dan Hung, and March go down to explore and see what's going on, and see if you can as well find any civilizations there. You meet a man named Sampo somewhere in the snow, which, for some weird reason, I have a very dying passion of hate towards him. Don't ask me why, I don't like him. He then tells you about Belobog, the city in this planet, and as well the only city on this planet. It's kind of sad. You then run into the Silvermane guards, or some of the enemies. They as well hate Sampo since he's a thief and sells everything he steals. Yeah, safe to say that barely anyone likes him. He runs off and you're left to fight against the guards, and as well the general, Japard, a man who then figures out you guys are not from this city, and you have no connection to Sampo. He then takes you to Belobog to introduce you to the Supreme Guardian, Cocolia. Hey, like that one in the other games. You tell her the reason why you're here. I hope that you were listening because we're here to stop the winter via destroying that Stellaron. She humbly accepts and then treats you off as special guests of the city. You then meet Serval after exploring the city for a while. She teaches you how to fix things, like a little video recorder, and it actually is kind of fun. It's basically a classic puzzle of this game that you will be using a lot. After you talk with Serval, you immediately jump into a trash can in order to get some cool items. Just a little quirk that Stella and Kalis have. After that, you head to a hotel and crash. But then awoken by the Silvermane guards, who say that you are not who you say you are and that you're threatening to overthrow the government. After you escape, you go through the corrupted part of town that's been affected by the Stellar. You then get ambushed by the Silvermane guards. Guess we haven't thought that far ahead, guys. Think. This is their town, they know it like the back of their hand. But after making easy target practice with them, you are then almost suffocated by Sampo via his gas bombs. Jesus, what is with this man? He then brings you to the not well-off part of town, the underground. You meet another best character of the game, Natasha. She is a doctor in the underground that's been taking care of you while you've been unconscious. You wake up after March 7th in Dan Hung. Dan Hung has been following Sampo around in order to find the officers or higher-ups of the town that you're in. March 7th is with some kids who know where Sampo is, but only will allow her to know if she wins a game of hide and seek. Classic. After you win, they take you to the fight club, and there you'll find Dan Hung. But Sampo's nowhere to be found. You help Dan Hung fight his opponents, and win. Obviously, we're the main characters. You then catch Sampo running away from your victory. As you chase him, you catch up to him, and he acts very suspicious. And is obviously trying to get you to ride off his tail. He then leads you to Wildfire, the basically better Silvermane guards. But you then see Branya, a Silvermane guard that was as well brought here due to Sampo's shenanigans. But don't worry, she's saved by Sela, a Wildfire member, who then, as well, helps you by taking you to the head of Wildfire. But, dear viewers, this is where I will stop for today. This is already very hard, and editing will be a pain. Thank you, my beautiful Shiver of Blowhigh, and I hope you have a great day.